But here we go.
How about you, James? We haven't heard from you in a while.
I think that Maui Snake raised some very good points, and I do have concerns regarding my pick of Big going into Mirage. I think that OG have a lot of potential to take Mirage. I think that Man2 is going to have a better performance. I think that, you know, again, it was a bit dodgy on Dust 2, but those times have come and gone. There'll be a knife to decide who plays on what side, of course, so we'll observe the knife first.
What knife are you using?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stick with my pick, but I really, I think this is kind of wide open. That's how I feel. It was a great CT side, very enjoyable to watch as well from OG on Inferno, and I think we're in for an exciting game of Mirage.
Yeah, yesterday we saw a big play Vitality, and Mirage was one of the maps that they played against one another. I think it was the first map actually of the series, and what we saw from Vitality was a more consistent, better overall kind of macro approach to the game. But in a lot of the micro situations, we saw huge performances from the individuals on Big that really created a lot of problems. But Vitality were even keel and just sort of were pulled through it, just dealt with it as it happened. But it was Big threatening to win that game just off of the individuals alone. Yes. So that I do wonder if we'll see something similar here as we go into the third and final map between Big and OG. As mentioned, OG on the T side, Big on the CT side. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Let's hope for it. Last time it went down to the wire, 30-round affair between both of these teams when they faced up on Mirage just about a week ago. Hopefully we get something similar.
It's Eastern XCB grenade men for OG. Tabson spotted some players in mid, and he will choose to fall back. It is a charge from OG, a boost perhaps on short over the smoke. Santara sees one going towards the window, he'll be looked for, but they went when the duel's Big. Starting on the back foot, Sis is going to get taken down at very close range, leaving Tizian as the last man to fall. Well, that is the pistol rounds. Brutality from OG. They start on the right foot.
Yeah, this is a great start from OG on the T side, and it kind of sucks for Big because what it does is it creates, it allows OG to get to their game plan a lot quicker than if they don't win the pistol. And the only way that that would not be the case right now is if OG lose to the force buy, which is obviously Big's force buy this round. So as long as OG can circumvent this force buy, I think they're going to be looking good for a 5-0 start.
Surson aggressively posturing towards middle, unable to find the shot though. And OG are going with a slightly more passive default to kick things off. 1-2-2 default from them versus the 2-1-2 of OG more or less, or of Big, sorry. And the late smokes towards window will come out, blocking Surson off of his angle. And he's a player that needs to get involved for Big early on. The last time they faced off, it was a 30-round affair, and Surson was at the very bottom of the scoreboard, whereas Montu was at the very top. Today, it seems like that would have switched. Surson is performing quite well, and Montu is having a difficult time in this series. But you throw it all out the window when it gets to map 3, when experience is tested, when mental fortitude is put to the test. OG are looking very solid in this round here. Not taking too much damage yet. They are walking into 2 players at this B site as they try to split it now. Surson with the scout. We'll see them approaching. He's able to find a tag, looking for more. He's able to get one before being quickly traded. Now Xantarez here with the deagle. Oh, what a shot from NTK to take him out. And this is looking really good for OG on the anti-eco, anti-force.
That said, Keto will walk from catwalk here, and he's looking for that quick one-shot kill, but he'll get denied. Man2 with the headshot. And Man2, I wonder if we'll see live from him in this third map. Again, last map, it didn't really seem to be about Man2 at all. He did the absolute basics. He's definitely in his C game in the last couple maps. Like if we're looking at the CBA game, he's definitely in the C game. So he was there, he was doing some stuff, but he wasn't taking over the game by any stretch of the imagination. It would be great to see if that would change on a map like Mirage, where the AWPers have so many different looks that are possible for them. So as we go into this eco rounds, we shouldn't really see anything too untoward. Big have only invested a single flashbang, so presumably it's going to be a retake flash for mid, so they can swing with this, and there they go. And well, this one good for a kill at least, I suppose. That's something.
OG really shows that they know their opponents in this round. They took some early space away from Big, but Big always makes some kind of play on these rounds, some kind of concerted team effort, and OG just held their ground. They didn't force the issue off of that mid control. They just hung out around the chair position, top mid, a couple players, and they knew that Big would likely just run right into them, especially if they're continuing to make noise as if they are scaling down. And I mean, it's an anti-USP round, so let's not read too much into it, I suppose, but it shows that OG are at least prepared for their opponent in this one.
Oh, it's first buy round for both squads. And one big question, no pun intended, is how CSGO uses the AWP on the CT side. Currently around the A bomb site, Keto getting spotted over the smoke. Very nice way to start things off. You can see CSGO hunting now in that connector position as OG taking a larger focus towards the B halls. Issa showing some presence in mid. He'll keep players entertained as OG make inroads towards B.
Looking for that contact play. It's all about the element of surprise. And with Tizian on the sides by himself, no utility at all to slow things down and no assistance anywhere nearby, this is the absolute best possible place for OG to hit. Now, Tizian needs a huge performance here. He has to get it done off of the initial shots. And, oh god, Alexi B takes him down immediately. And Alexi B knows exactly how to clear those positions, and he's going to do an excellent job at that Mag 10. That might shut out Big from this round. We'll have to see how much they want to commit into this. They don't have any money. If they save these 3 guns, they can buy in the next round. But now they've lost a player. They can still drop for a couple of teammates in the next rounds, but one player will be without a weapon. Now it gets to a point where it's just Citizen and never mind. Never mind.
And he's dead.
Very well done by OG to hunt down all those guns. It's huge, huge, huge.
So I wonder if OG is trying to condition Big by hitting that B bomb site. Like, hey, look, we changed our game plan a little bit. Maybe you have to sack towards B, and that's when they hit A? Or is OG going to just kind of, you know, maybe feel it out, keep doing their A thing that we saw last time?
Yeah.
Well, I felt like it was an instant response to taking out the short player there. They
Definitely.
Maybe banked on a lack of rotation from Big, which was really awesome. So we'll see how they play on that next time if it happens again.
OG have now gotten off to 5 hot starts in, or I mean not 5. 3 hot starts. I don't know. I guess I was considering halves in it. Yeah, but in every map they've gotten off to a hot start.
Yeah, their pistol round is usually very good, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
They're one of those teams that just wins the pistols.
Yeah, they're really on top of it. Gotta give credit to Alexi B for some of his pistol round strategies too, because they're pretty complex at times. All the moving pieces and how they're able to come together. He makes those macro movements on pistol rounds look quite good with his teams. He's been doing that for quite a while now, especially on ends. Tabson, though, has a deagle. That means there's always a chance for Big. And he's able to find 2. Okay, 2-on-2 situation now, playing around triple. Do they know that Sursen's in place? He did just shoot that P250. Flashing on forward is OG. These are excellent flashes to gain some space, but they aren't able to find kills. And Tabson, still from the triples position, is able to find yet another, leaving it down to a 1v1 between Montu and Sursen, the opposing oppers. But Montu is playing around the smoke, trying to find an angle. It's only 25 seconds. He doesn't have time to run away. He has to take this fight to Sursen. Who will get the better of whom now? And oh, wow, Big stealing one there off the back of an excellent round from Tabson.
Manti that looked like he was trying to play against 5 spots at once. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to like having a good guess and committing to the guess and then reacting. Kind of looked like he was dancing between a lot of different spots here. You might be able to see on this replay. It kind of looks like he has no idea at all where to look. And Searson takes him down. I was really hoping Manti would have a good clutch there, and for his sake. But really important round for Big to win, but only surviving with 1 player certainly leaves them in a weakened position, economically speaking, as OG look to try to put the pressure on this mid area. Alexi B will progress forwards under the cover of his teammates' weapons. Those AKs, the AWP of Mantu, and Alexi B meanwhile as well, taking control towards Connector. Assist and peels away 1. Oh, Tabson! He's done a lot of damage there. Oof, this is a hard recovery. Oh, that's such a crucial frag from Valde. That will allow a chance there for OG.
Unexpected miss from Searson there. We've got some safe positions being held for the retake by Big in CT spawn. And Valde will create a wall. He might be able to hop up on the box and use that as a one-way. Indeed, that is the plan. Seen this from Apex before in a similar fashion many moons ago. And the CTs should be able to read that. Indeed, Keto will have a superior angle, which leaves Mantu now in a 1 versus 3. Make it 2 as Keto as they're eliminated. The CTs are on the site already. That's such a fast one from him. But now he's really got to commit to this because the bomb is being defused. The smoke is up and he's got no idea.
That's a nice try.
Will go to Big, but that was pretty crazy.
It's unfortunate that OG had to put the plant behind or at the default safe spot in that situation. Valde did have a smoke, and I wish he put the bomb down in the reverse default, if anything. But, you know, that's just splitting hairs at that point.
It was really good damage for OG regardless, because Mantu is able to kind of peel away a couple players right at the end. So it does put OG in a spot where they can reset Big completely, force them to eco next round if they win this round. But obviously that's a pretty big... There's no small feat, and look at this aggression from Tizzy. He's got so much info with this push. They're going to realize that it's going to be an A push, and they're going to rotate everybody for this. OG are certainly going to... This should, in theory, be a huge struggle for them with the info that Big has. Didn't seem to matter on Inferno, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, with how this game's going, it's hard to read who's supposed to come out on top here. Keto, though, is at an excellent position. This should be good for a couple of kills, but he's only able to find one. Thankfully, his teammates have rotated in thanks to the info gained by Tizian now. But it's a 2-on-3 situation. Valde and Mantu once again trying to make something happen. They're surrounded at this point, as there is that lurk coming in from ramp, and oh, Valde's tagged down so low through the smoke, but he is able to recover to find one, leaving a very doable 1v2 for Mantu, but does he expect the flank? Tizian is right there, and what a shot, but it's not enough, as that flank still does come into play, and Tizian's able to take him down. Once again, a very expensive round, though, for Big.
It does look like, even though Big are winning these rounds, it almost feels like they're setting themselves up to get pretty crushed. But that window will go away if OG aren't able to actually win one of these rounds. Like that, that is the the thing that they have to do. They have to actually win one of these rounds. But Big's money is going to be rough for sure.
Yeah, and OG will keep the pressure on. Force buy into this round. Mantu will even be able to equip an op on the force buy. Both of these teams are depleted. This is really a swing round for either team at this point. Give the other some breathing room if you lose it. Sita and Alexi B, wow, he's just running up catwalk, does eventually fall. Tizian, though, at the van position, has to come up huge for his team. He's able to get one, looking for more. Cannot find the second. Valde, actually, with the team kill with the Molly, does end up taking him down. 1v3 now. They're just swarming him, though. They don't give him any room to breathe, and they shouldn't, because he can be so deadly in those positions.
Yeah, that's what I talked about earlier about OG doing that 4-1. Alexi B pretty much by himself on the catwalk. Now, he did get shot through this, or it looked like he got shot through the smoke from Searson, but that's the thing. He was pretty much the linchpin of the strat. If the CTs only spot one person go up and he dies, then the people in B just have to focus on that B tunnels and nothing else.
And imagine if they got the bomb down, they would have been able to force buy. Everyone would have had $4,000. Yeah. So not having the bomb down changed everything for this round. We're going to see a Palace pop. They're not super common. We'll have to see if it works out. There's a precise amount of utility to assist it.
Yeah, a couple of smokes. May see a reroute, though, from OG, as they may have lost their timing, given that big smoke Palace so early in the round.
Perhaps expectant.
That's the short pillars. We got two smokes, maybe the short pillars on B instead. That's what I reckon. Bounce the flash out the window.
We will find out shortly. OG are in position to begin the hit. There he goes. They are going to start running. Tizian with a defensive smoke to slow them down. So let's see how much he can get here. As he is going to try to stop the plant. He's unable to do so, actually. It's getting a little bit scary for Tizian. They're surrounding him, but his teammates are actually owning it right now. Searson with so many kills there from, I presume it must have been the catwalk position. Where was Searson? I think he was in the catwalk position. Either way, 5-4 for Big as they convert that round. But OG do get a plant off the pistol rush. And the plant is obviously very helpful. An extra $800 for every player as a bonus. And the full buy will come out for OG. The money after that round is looking quite nice for Big. They've got another buy in the tank that they can save for a rainy day, thanks to the success they just had. It's a big comeback from Big. Even though it's looked labored, they're ahead now, 5 versus 4 in terms of rounds. 5 against 4.
Yeah, and OG looks like they wanted to pressure those B apartments early on, but they're stopped in their tracks due to the aggressive apartment smoke. I know you've been loving that, Dan, from every match we've seen thus far at this tournament on Mirage. When teams use that, they're able to deny so much space away from the opposing tees. And man, look at this. OG, 40 seconds burned in the clock, and they really have no ground to speak of. Looks like it will end up being a late mid-take. And Big have fallen into a very A-centric setup now. 1 player connector, 1 around Palace, 1 ramp, and they know that their B is a little bit weak, but they are just holding their ground. They're really confident in this setup here. First engagement, though, will go the way of Big. Nice opening frag to find onto Montu there. And OG, they're just still choked out of this round. 38 seconds left, and now they have to just force the issue. Alexi B desperately in the smoke here at the stairs position. 3v4, and man, how is this going to shape up? NBK will kick things off with a kill at jungle, and it looks like OG may have found an in onto this bomb site. In fact, they'll push back that CT side player. Searson mollied off the angle, but he just forces on through the molly and able to get a kill. That's ridiculous.
Oh,
that flick was completely clean. That was, he saw like, what, 15% of his body? Clean!
Yeah,
clean
that's
flicks.
So nuts. Searson is really, really good. He hits a lot of shots like that where it doesn't really seem like there's almost anything to even shoot at, and he sometimes, it's like he's playing in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like he has the extra time that most of the rest of us don't have to make these shots happen. That's kind of what it's like watching him sometimes. And that's definitely a huge advantage that Big have, having a player like Searson performing like that. But it was clearly OG was saying to themselves, we want let's slow the stuff down, just to slow it down massively. And it didn't work out. We're going to see a shift of the pace as they go for a rush into B, and the apartments hold is not too bad from Tizian. 1 frag, but the damage is huge, and Searson again rattling away with the orb from afar, and he all by himself is a firing squad, and it's going to be just 1 man left, Mantu, and not for too much longer. Big, how many rounds in a row has this been? Has this been actually 7 rounds in a row?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening again.
Oh, no. Here we go again.
Big. Here we go again.
But OG sending Sentinel Desperation Day up to force buy. Obviously, they're on a 4-round losing streak plus. So they got the money, the chops to back it up if they lose this round. But the look overall is not looking too hot for OG.
There is a CT smoke in T4. I don't know what I guess they accidentally pressed jump throw, and it was supposed to be for ramp. That's going to allow them to charge in instead, and Tab Cinema will stop the bomb plan, that's got to be the worst case scenario for OG, and it's not going to get ticked off just yet. ISO 1 versus 5 from Palace, and now it's none versus 5, round number 8 for Big.
It's a great pop flash from Keto. Keto has been on point with his pop flashing. See that tosses one almost exact same time as the T's toss theirs. and pretty much cancel each other out, except for Tabson, who's under the balk. He doesn't get hit by any of those flashbangs, and that's why he gets an easy, cool 3 kills.
Yeah, this is a great pause from OG coming out here. They are feeling the same pressure that they felt on Dust 2, where they had a hot start. It was 7-1 at one point, but Big made it 16-7. And OG don't want to repeat the same fate. Stop it in its tracks here. Big have already gained so much momentum with this 8 rounds in a row. But OG will try to slow the bleeding. Give themselves a good chance moving into that second half. Even it up a little bit here.
Pretty standard stuff.
Oh, we've got an underblast bay. This is not standard.
Not too much.
Citizen is going to take Valde out for 3. Now the question is, they've got 2 players invested here. How do they get back? Well, maybe they just stand their ground and kill everybody from this position. They know they should know that Citizen is still lurking somewhere, but they've got no presence towards B, so he could be there. That's a very fast attempt from him. Not quite sure when to make it. That deep smoke will allow him to fall back into connector. And OG are on a 2 versus 4 now. So this round has been dismantled by Big before they could really start building some safe ground for themselves, OG. East are on a 1v4 of the bomb top mid, no less, with no map control whatsoever. Tizian getting caught off guard, still alive somehow, and the cavalry's on the way. So this is looking more and more difficult for OG.
Jeez.
He'll hold his ground, and that was a smash and grab from Big.
That is such an excellent way to play after a timeout for Big. Just get into the faces of OG. You know that in that kind of timeout, OG are just calling some kind of elaborate play, some way to get map control, how they want to split off of it. They have so many moving parts that once they come together, it should be this excellent strategy. But Surson just goes underpass with an op and finds a couple of kills. That stuff is just... That's not what OG are focusing on in the timeout. It's not hope Surson or wait for Surson to push underpass. It's about their split. But Surson, he just imposes himself on the opposite team.
The op in the underpass is such a hard move to play against as a T because the opper has so much room to peek, to shoot, and the only way the T's can capitalize off of that is if they have their own opper posted up in underpatch or in the underpass, which is super rare, or you have a kind of a T setup where you're capitalizing on the fallback of the CT after he takes a shot. So he already gets a free shot in tunnels regardless of what you do, and then you have to catch him fast enough when he falls back. But Big has their I's dotted and their T's crossed with their smokes and flashes.
Oh, that nade.
Ooh. We got meaty grenades to start things off. Kito's going to see plays in connector and take them out of commission as we'll see it. And it's another dismantling where OG is just going to last mere seconds in this round. Mere seconds.
Big are looking incredible right now. 10 rounds straight for them here. That's
not good.
Gosh. If you're in that OG just team speak right now, what are you saying to get that 5th round on the board, Dan?
Yeah, Dan. What do you say?
Yeah, Dan. What do you say, Dan?
Shit.
From downtown. Shit.
Probably is a little chaotic. People wanting to throw in their ideas, what could work. That's the nightmare scenario of IGL.
3 big players on the A-bomb site. Man2 is somehow still alive. Issa isn't though, but System's been taken out, and that's a good pickup. Tabson looking for 2, only able to get 1 though. We've got a flank on the way from Tizian. Alexi B still on mid. There might be a sound cure on advantage for someone. It will be, of course, for Big, looking to make it 11. Santara's in CT. Now he could take a flash and swing from a teammate, but he's going to bide his time for now. Tizian making his way towards connector, while Kito's got an angle through shores.
So much to be done here for OG. They need to scrape this last round. Big sweating them out at the moment. Bomb tossed across to Man2, but he's got a mere 6 points of health. OG are forced to break the deadlock here by planting the bomb, but the coverage from the CTs is Very good. MBK, full HP. He's going to get dropped instantly by Tizian. And Xantares will take down Mantu. He had no idea what was going on there. 11-4 at the end of the first half by Big. What a dominating performance. We'll have to see if there's any life yet in OG after the break. And we're back!
We're back!
Yes, we are back, and this one is already on the go. 3-man on road. We've got that vintage Molotov bouncing above connector into the window, taking the vision away. Can be useful for a fast fade towards B with a flashbang bounce into the window, but no! It'll be a headshot into the face of Mantu, whereas Big head towards connector and A.
Mantu's face got punctured by so many bullets. But it looks like OG will be able to find some of the frags back. Their pistols are actually sick. And they're in a 4 versus 2 right here. Tapson and Tizian. All that's left here for the German side as they look to see if they can find some extra kills. It's just Tapson left. He is a god. He's a beast. He's a monster. But this is a difficult scenario for him as he rotates around from CT. Looking for those frags and, well, he can't stop the defuse from coming in time. Once again, OG. It feels like such a saving grace for them that they seem so consistently good in these pistols. However, as we saw in the first half, they need to be better at converting some of those gun rounds. That's where the problem is for them.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that when Big seems like they're on point with everything on this map. Completely picking it up from where they left off, or from Dust 2. Like Inferno was kind of a toss-away map for Big.
Oh, this buy.
Just a little hiccup for them. Tapson, again, balling off that window position. Excellent utility from him. Buys his team a lot of space. And oh, look at how that draws the rotation from the catwalk player. He's not here to help MBK, so MBK has to do it all, but he can't. Early opening for Big onto this B bomb site. Are they going to break OG once again?
OG have to save right now. They can't throw these guns away. There's already, though, a player in T-spawn in Tapson looking for these kills, looking to upgrade his Tech 9 into an M4 or a FAMAS, and his timing is so nuts. They're never expecting this. There is the upgrade.
Oof.
Oh,
oof.
It's rough, man. You see Big pick up that bomb plant, and the amount of utility they went into this round with basically full utility. A lot of teams will get the Galils, they'll get the the SMGs. We had 1 MAC-10. Everyone else had Tech 9s, I think, and full utility. You rarely actually see that on Mirage of all maps as well, where it is quite favorable to have the Galils. That just goes to show that Big have a lot prepared for these situations, and OG were unable to contest.
Yeah, they'll be fighting with Deagles in this round. It's not a great look for OG. They have to pull this game back, and this is a very tough ask for them here. Looks like they'll be going for more of a gamble-style approach in this round. If Big scout out that A bomb site, they will find that it is empty. And it looks like there are already a couple of players making their way up connector at this point, and they should be able to gather this information. Tizian falling towards B will alert the rest of his team that there are players at that bomb site, and Big with it won't miss a beat. They are all over that A site. Great positions for them. NBK will be able to take a Galil into the upcoming round, and it was likely going to be more or less the same buy from OG moving on forward, or just taking forward with them what they can from this round. So they'll have another shot at it. They'll have another chance. Maybe they'll stack the correct bomb site this time around, or maybe they can find some of their own action.
This is crazy too. I mean, this is really as well for that rematch against Vitality in a best of 5, which is a pretty interesting prospect.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great series. We might just see it again.
What do you think is the best matchup if you had to
for
Vitality, like who they would face?
They would rather face OG.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big is just as you see right here. Even though OG might have a game plan, they have an idea how to beat Big. You still got to go in the server and outshoot them. And Big looks like their shots are on fire. Like they're not missing it. They're scaling almost perfectly every time they kind of take a choke point.
Yep.
And OG, they're in spots to maybe capitalize on a lot of these, but they're not hitting the multi-kills that you need to do in some of these bomb sites. Big is.
Yeah. Tech pause coming out. Maybe one of OG's lasts. I mean, they have to find some sort of resilience, some strength moving forward, because Big have looked just totally dominant. They won 11 rounds in a row to close out that first half. Now they're on 2 in a row here. It might be 3 in a row. It just feels like if you let Big have any moment on the OG side, they'll just keep going with it. It doesn't stop. And Xantros doesn't stop. Oh, man, so clean. Just eliminating those players on the A side instantly. Man, he's just flying at them now.
He's just playing YPRAC pre-aim.
Yeah.
Right now.
Just get out of Xantros' server because he is online.
Yeah, it's so... What's really disappointing for OG is the fact that in the first half, they set themselves up with maybe... They had maybe 4 chances, I want to say, in a row to just win 1 round. And if they would have won like 1 round, they would have crippled Big's economy and they would have taken over the game themselves. Oh, they would have had a strong opportunity to do so. But it felt like they just didn't have the right calls and they didn't have the right individual performances on top of that. So it just feels like Big, as you say, they are looking just like just great in every capacity. Like they're very steady. Perhaps that's the best way to describe them. Out goes Keto, and MBK is going to have his number. It's a good start there from MBK. Ooh, unable to convert against Xantares. Don't blame him. Down to 2 HP Xantares, but still alive. But not for too much longer. LXCB needed that one. Up to Matu now here on the side. Oh, I can't connect anything either. It really feels like the OG players are struggling to hit their shots at the moment.
This is on fast forward.
Yeah.
Present, but things will... Every second will feel like a week for Issa in this kind of situation. Doesn't look like he's really going to go for anything. Perhaps just hiding in plain sight. It will be 10 rounds in a row for OG, although it probably won't be. But they'll do their best. And it's going to be very, very hard indeed. Big looking very strong. I'm just so happy to see a Big playing on this level.
Yeah.
It's just really awesome to see. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's so true. Like it's just so interesting seeing, just if you've been there from the beginning with CSGO, just like seeing the different brands and players and seeing how some players thrive in certain lineups, but then maybe they themselves will have a slump, and maybe they then have to then go and find the right team, but then it takes that team a long time to come online, or like whatever it might be. Maybe they have to bring in a new IG up. There's like so many moving parts. So to see all of these different variables connect in a way which allows for, let's say, Big, this brand that we've now known for so long, to be the biggest German representatives from the in the world scale. It is satisfying for sure. And this is just going... There is just nothing that can seemingly go right for OG here. Another great kill from Keto to open things up. Like, what do you go to now if you're OG? This is match point.
I mean, if you're thinking what to do at this point, you're probably already lost in the game. It's 15-5. Bigs are already pretty much in this A bomb site. The CTs have to play retake with very little utility and guns.
It's a gross little play from Tapson there to find that kill in jungle. And it just leaves NBK 1v3, is able to find one, but can't get anything more than that. And Big just dominated Mirage.
That looked way too easy, to be honest.
Yeah. The problem for me here with this matchup, with this series, and by the way, congrats to Big. They make it 2-1 over OG. They are going to find themselves in a best of 5 against the French powerhouse that is Vitality. But indeed, there's a lot to talk about in this matchup, I feel, with OG and Big. But of course, Big are amazing, and we'll continue to talk about that after the break.